as they move forward to rebuild such a traumatised area. I'm delighted to have Dr. Saeed, the Somaliland Minister for Planning, with me. Delighted to have Foreign Minister Mohammed B. Yunus and former Foreign Minister Adna with me as well. So, without further ado, I would just like to open and say, Minister, what is so important about re-recognition for Somaliland?
Let me first thank Jim and your team for giving us at Somaliland an opportunity to be here with you today at the European Parliament and talk about Somaliland's re-recognition, as you called. I think Somaliland, as you know, has been a country that's very peaceful. Somaliland got its own independence in 1960, and it has been an independent state for a week, and it was a member of the international community and the UN for 5 days. 35 member states of the United Nations recognized Somaliland, and Somaliland was an independent state, as you know it. We have joined Somalia, which is the Italian part, 5 days later. But of course, as you all know, there was no act of union that has been signed. There was no marriage per se. And Somaliland joined into this episode and have now finally managed to be on its own for the last 25 years. We feel Somaliland has the right to be a recognized country. It has been an independent state. It fulfills all of the requirements of a statehood. The borders of the British are still there. We have the population, we have a government, we go into treaties with international countries and other organizations. So we do believe it is the Somaliland's right to be an independent state and to regain its independence and recognition. And we're very grateful for the European Parliament to really take the issue up and explain to the rest of the world that this is a genuine case that needs to be recognized and to be known by the world, that Somaliland is a peaceful, is a stable nation, is a democratic, it respects all of the human rights issues, as also the rule of law, the other issues that make a nation. So we do believe that this opportunity will give the rest of the world to know more about Somaliland and its achievements. I think maybe I could also ask some of my colleagues to do the same.
Dr. Saeed, Minister of Planning, in fact, we were both at a conference in London at the end of last year, hosted by Her Majesty's government. And what struck me was the strong belief and support from the Somaliland diaspora, certainly across the United Kingdom, who have such belief and willingness to invest in Somaliland. There are certain economic barriers to re-recognition, and to my mind, perhaps you'd like to elaborate on what re-recognition would do to actually re-establish confidence with the investing community, and what that would do for Somaliland.
Well, thank you very much, Jim. I think that's a pertinent question. The fact that we are not recognized is a major obstacle to development in our country for the following reasons. First, because we're not recognized, we're not eligible for bilateral aid, government to government, budgetary support. We don't get that. That's one reason. And the second reason is because we are not recognized and are not member of the multilateral financial institutions like the World Bank. We cannot borrow from them. Yes. We cannot borrow from the World Bank. We cannot borrow from the African Development Bank. We cannot borrow from the Islamic Development Bank either. That's another problem. The third problem is the problem we have or we face in attracting foreign investment. Lack of recognition puts off foreign investors because they see as a risk in investing in a country which is not recognized at all. And when we deal with international transactions, we have to pay a premium on insurance, which is also another problem. Travel is another problem, as Abdul Qadir said. We cannot travel on our passport and go all over the world and purchase things or sell things to the rest of the world. That's also another problem. And because of these obstacles to development, we are unable to unlock the potential of our country and create jobs for the growing young population of our country.
Okay. Self-determination is an extremely important issue from my own context as a UKIP member of the European Parliament. I, of course, seek self-determination for my country, the United Kingdom, from Britain's membership of the European Union. And so it necessarily follows that parties such as mine should get behind such worthy causes of self-determination, because I think I sit on the Foreign Affairs Committee in the European Parliament, and something we're increasingly spending more and more time on. We spend time discussing the rise of Islamic fundamentalism, and it strikes me that such a stable, moderate country, and let's remember, a Sunni Muslim country, and a well-educated youth, your education facilities are to be admired, and it strikes me that if we can actually get this recognition and get investments, that's a far better and a safer future, because we regrettably see Islamic fundamentalism breeding and engaging with educated youth who feel left out and become bored. But of course it goes much further. It goes the whole question of human rights, and I'm delighted, Adna, the work that's been put in the Adna hospital, and perhaps you'd like to elaborate about the work that carries on within that institution. And obviously FGM, female genital mutilation, is a big concern raised across the political group. So perhaps you'd like to say a few words about.
Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you for this opportunity to talk to you about issues that I feel very strongly about. First, about democracy and stability in my country, Somaliland, which I can safely describe Somaliland as being one of the safest and most stable countries in Africa. Even though it's not politically recognized, it's a country where there is law and order, where there are government institutions, where there's a woman like me, at my age, who has retired from the international community, grew up in comfort and grandeur, has chosen to return to Somaliland to build a hospital. Now, if Somaliland were not safe and were not stable, I would not be doing that. So that in itself, the fact that individuals like myself and the minister and the other minister were all returnees from very cushy and comfortable positions abroad, Canada, UK, me from a long career with WHO, have chosen to bring back everything that we had, our experience, our resources, our goodwill, and to become that small fish that attracts other fish to return home. And if Somaliland were not safe, I would not be doing that. How did I get to do this hospital? Well, you have to be a little crazy to build hospitals. I mean, that, on and off the record.
I'm sure that's the same all over the world. Yeah.
But it's something I've wanted to do. And when my country, Somaliland, became so destroyed, and where whatever little they had was destroyed during the civil war between Somaliland and Somalia, there was no way I could live with myself, knowing that there is something that I could do back home. So I just recycled my whole life, sold everything I had, everything I did not need, recycled into cold cash. What am I going to do with a Mercedes in a country that has no roads? Who's going to maintain my Mercedes? Who's going to make sure that, whatever needs to be done could be done in Somaliland, where we have hardly any mechanics, where we have no roads, where we don't even have the right kind of fuel that my car was used to having. What would I do with a microwave? What would I do with so many things that we surround ourselves with? I just recycled, sold them, turned them into cold cash, went home, and built a hospital. My idea was that I was going to build a small maternity hospital, but it just developed a life of its own. Today it's a general hospital, it's a teaching hospital, and it's a place where we train health professionals, nurses and midwives and lab technicians and pharmacists and all those working in government institutions, because I train them and then I give them to the government to deploy them and field them in the facilities, in the public facilities. is now a teaching hospital, a referral hospital, a general hospital, where very often we have more male patients than female patients. It has a life of its own. And if that was not even enough to drive me nuts, since 2 years I opened the Adna University. The first time that a woman has set up a university in my country, and for boys and girls. And over 1,000 students are enrolled in programs in public health and nursing and midwifery and pharmacy and anesthesia and dental technologists. And I feel that by giving these young students an opportunity to learn professional skills and earn a decent living and learn about caring for the sick in a very passionate way would prevent them from being tempted to join groups that might have antisocial or insecure ideas. The youth that we have today have an opportunity to become an example to other African countries. There are brilliant students in my university. I mean, they have PhDs stamped on their foreheads. But if we don't give them the opportunity to climb that ladder of academia, to better themselves, to learn from others, to share in the growth of whatever profession they have chosen to learn, they will become disillusioned. And others with less noble ideas will beckon them to end their lives and end the lives of others. And the other thing I feel very passionate about, besides human rights and human dignity, is to fight harmful traditional practices. Female genital mutilation is something that I, as a midwife, have rebelled about for the past 40 years. I started the fight 40 years ago. I was the first Somali person to pick up a microphone in public and denounce female circumcision for the cruel practice that it is. It is contrary to the teachings of Islam. It's against human rights. It's against women's rights. It's against survival. And it interferes with the normal process of childbirth that the body of woman was created for. So every morning I was going to work and trying to get a baby out of a part of the body that had been so damaged that I would be worried about the survival of this baby. And there comes a time when you just say, I cannot keep this locked up in my mind. I must say something about it. God has given me a voice. God has given me the knowledge. God has shown me that this is wrong. I need to speak about it. And since that time I've been fighting. And in my institution, where I teach nurses and midwives and lab technicians, men and women, I have two conditions. You perform well in your studies and respect the rules and the regulations of the institution, and you prove to me that you will fight injustice and you will fight FGM. And if you do not wish to fight FGM and you say, oh, but I'm a man, I cannot talk about things like that, I say, well, in that case, you go and waste somebody else's time, because in my institution, you fight it. And you have to prove to me that you're serious about it. And I'm amazed at how young students, who when they came to me would be so shy and timid about it, learn about anatomy, learn about physiology, learn about the damages that FGM causes to the body of the woman, that at the end of a certain time, they become the advocates, they become those who fight in a very amazing way. And I sit in the background and I listen to them talking to mothers who perhaps are pregnant, and explaining to this mother that if this baby that you're carrying should be a girl, what would she be doing to it? and if she says, I would circumcise it, then they counsel her and they convince her that she should not. Given the opportunities, the right opportunities, young people are a force that can improve the chances of survival of our people. If they're denied that chance, they can also become a very lethal force that can undo and destroy what Somalilanders have been doing and the rebuilding that we have been participating in for the past quarter of a century. We need the world. We need a stable world. We need a wise and stable youth who have something to live for, who are proud of their identity, who have ambitions, and who know that they can grow without any let or hindrance. And this is what is so important for the international community, to join hands with us and help Somaliland improve even further the development we've been able to achieve in a country that is not recognized politically. So in spite of our lack of recognition, we are performing far better than many recognized countries. That's something that African countries can learn from.
And that's something I find most exciting, because to have achieved what you have achieved and are achieving and continue to achieve without that recognition really shows me that there is no bounds to what a recognised Somaliland can achieve. I could speak about this subject all day, but I hope from this presentation people who aren't aware of the wider issues surrounding Somaliland will go away, perhaps look it up on the internet, and perhaps engage with communities. Obviously this is a European institution, and perhaps what I would like from various meetings today would be for parliamentarians from all nationalities to go away. And it may well be that French colleagues from across the political groups have links that English parliamentarians do not have, so maybe they can reach out to their diplomatic channels across the former French colonies and maybe start engaging in a wider and sensible and honest discussion about the future of Somaliland. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, and that's
Thank you.
excellent. Thank you. Okay.
Good.
Be shy.